You know that feeling when someone's name pops up on your phone and you let out a long sigh because somehow you're already tired and you haven't even spoken to them yet? And whether on the phone or in person, you may even have to mentally prepare yourself because you already know you're going to walk away feeling more depleted than before you even started. Well, if that's ever happened to you, my friends, you're not imagining it. You're getting ready to be drained. Hi, I'm Dr. Connie Numbers, and in today's video, I'm going to show you why certain people drain your energy, why you allow it without realizing it, and the 5 simple things you can do to stay grounded and calm without having to cut people out of your life, especially when the draining person is someone you love or care about. So, let's talk about what's really going on. As we know, some people are emotionally heavy. They repeat the same stories, they vent nonstop, and they make everything about themselves. They need attention, reassurance, validation, and they rarely pause long enough to notice you. They talk, but, they don't really connect, and you kind of walk away feeling invisible because you were never really in the conversation. But here's where you come in, because without you realizing it, you contribute to this situation. And I say this because we all do this. We drain our own energy by over listening to that person, nodding, not speaking up, and avoiding conflict at all costs, by trying to keep the peace and sliding back into old childhood conditioning. Because let's not forget, most of us were raised on messages like, be good, don't upset anybody, keep the peace, don't argue, and make sure everybody else is comfortable. And that conditioning is very powerful. And here's where it becomes even more tangled. If a coworker drains you, you can always walk away. If a friend drains you at times, you can space out the visits. If a neighbor drains you, you can close the door. But when the draining person is family, well, that's when things get complicated. You may love them deeply or at least care about their feelings. But as you may have experienced, many family members talk to you as if you're still the child you once were, even when you're now 40, 50, or 60. And without you realizing it, the role you played as that child is going to kick in automatically, whether you were the fixer, the peacekeeper, the quiet one, the responsible one, or the good boy, or the good girl. And that's what drains you. It's really not the person. It's the old role you slipped back into. It's the child inside who's exhausted, and your adult self feels that. So here's the good news. You don't have to sit there in their company being drained, nor do you have to accept every word they say. And you don't need a confrontation either. These 5 simple practices that I'm going to give you work with anyone who drains you, but especially with family, because those are the old patterns that run the deepest. And those are the ones that kind of drain us the most. But one thing is very essential. You must walk into the room or into the conversation as your adult self, not the child you once were. So if you're 49, you need to walk in as a 49-year-old. If you're 62, walk in as a 62, not a 12-year-old. Your job is to support and protect your inner child, not hand him or her over to the wolves. Yeah. So here are the 5 practices that work well. Number 1, you have to come to some acceptance of who they are. This is who they are. One of the biggest energy drains is hoping somebody will finally behave differently. Most likely they won't, because they're living out their childhood programming just like you are. They have their own issues just like you do, and they're set in their ways. So when you expect a parent or a relative to suddenly become warm, or emotionally mature, or emotionally available, well, you're setting yourself up for disappointment every time. But when you remind yourself that they're just being who they've always been, you stop fighting reality and your energy stays with you. So when Uncle Joe tells the same story over and over, you just tell yourself, there he goes again. And when your father complains about the price of eggs for the 94th time, well, there he goes again. And when your mother slips into her martyr mode, there she goes again. This helps you to lighten up a little bit because accepting them as they are, it doesn't mean you have to like their behavior. It simply means you stop expecting them to be somebody they're not. And that alone can save you so much energy. Number 2, don't over-explain or defend yourself. This is when you take back your power immediately. Because you see, the moment you start explaining your choices, your schedule, your opinions, your life, your feelings, you slip back into the child role, the one trying to justify and prove yourself. So don't use long explanations, use short answers. So let's say you're ready to go home and somebody asks, "Why are you leaving so early?" Now, the old you may want to over-explain and be a good child and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I just haven't slept well lately and I have so much to do tomorrow and I've got to take the kids here and there." But the adult in you says just 3 words. "Well, I'm really tired." Now, if they say, "But you just got here," the adult you says, "I'm really tired." No story, no apology, no justification, short and simple, protects your energy. Number 3, choose neutral topics. Now, you know that some topics are emotional landmines: politics, religion, your personal choices, relationship, your appearance, your finances. Don't go there. Keep it light and neutral. Talk about a TV show you enjoyed, something interesting you saw, their favorite sports team, or maybe what you cooked recently or what they cooked recently. Now, with people you're close to, yes, talk to them in an intimate way, but not those who drain you or those who won't support you. Neutral topics keep the energy steady, and they prevent things from spiraling into unnecessary tension. Number 4, this one is my favorite and works for me every time, and it's when you become the observer instead of the reactor. So instead of thinking you've got to say something about every conversation, just sit back and watch what's going on. Just smile and watch the circus unfold, because by observing instead of reacting, you're allowing your soul to lead the way, because the soul is the observer in you. And when your soul leads the way, there's no judgment when observing other people. And this is where you get to rise above the human drama and look at all these people the way your soul sees them, as a fellow human being with wounds and fears and unmet needs and unresolved pain of their own. Because people who guilt trip, complain, criticize, or demand attention are almost always hurting. Now, they may look confident or controlling or superior, but underneath it all, they're very insecure and feel very inadequate. But they won't let you know that. So instead of judging them or being mad at them for who they are, feel compassion for them because they're in pain, and it's so deep, they don't even know it. In this way, you don't take their behavior personally. Instead, you see the pain behind the behavior. And when you observe your loved ones in this way, you are growing as a human and evolving as a soul. Now, nothing is better than that. And number 5. Now, this last one is so simple, but it works. And it's this: spend less time with them and leave earlier. This is self-love. Shorten the visits. Go for coffee instead of dinner. Stay on the phone for 15 minutes instead of 45. Go visit for a couple of hours instead of 5. And consider leaving before your energy collapses, and believe me, you'll know when that starts to happen. Remember, your time is valuable, your peace matters, and your energy is sacred. Healthy boundaries don't separate you from people. They really allow you to stay connected with them without losing yourself. And if you want one final truth, I want to remind you of this. Most of the time, the biggest drain really isn't the person. It's the old version of you that shows up when you're with them. But once your adult self walks into the room, clear and grounded and compassionate, everything changes. The old patterns lose their power, and you become a new version of yourself, wiser, stronger, and freer. Yay! Now, I would love to make another video on this topic using statements and questions to use with those who drain you. And if you're interested, let me know and I'll make it. It would definitely be a valuable resource for you. I call it your arsenal. So if this video resonated with you, I hope you press the like button and I'd love to hear your comments. I know I say this every week, but it really does help me get to know you as well as helps my channel to grow. And do me a favor. Tell me what videos you'd like me to make next. I'm waiting. Thank you. And if you like this video, you might want to take a look at this one. This Changes Everything, where I share how to dissolve judgment, transform conflict, and rediscover compassion for even the hardest people to love. It all begins with one shift. The moment you remember there's only one of us in the room. And I'd also like to announce that we have a free PDF document that you might be interested in. It's called 3 Things Your Soul Wants You to Know Today, and it's available online right below here for download. In the meantime, know without doubt, there really is no one worth knowing more than you.